So recently, I did the El Sarah podcast and video with the founder of El Sarah, Alyssa Corrigan. And today I'm turning the tables and I'm going to sit and talk to Alyssa about what El Sarah is and about her absolutely incredible golden product. So, Alyssa, thank you very, very much for coming to talk to me today.
No, it's wonderful to be here, and yeah, I interviewed you, and now you turn the tables, which is great.
Now, we met at that wonderful event recently that was part of Menopause Month, and we met at this. It was a women's collective at the Lowry Hotel, and that's where we got to meet. And it was a really lovely day, wasn't it?
It was great. It was just brilliant to be in the room with so many like-minded women, and I felt like there was so much energy in the room. Everyone was there for the right reasons. Really, just a great day, actually, through and through.
It was thoroughly enjoyable, and there were such lovely people there. I honestly felt like I made some friends that day.
Yeah.
And as you say, like-minded people, you've just got so much in common with. And as I said, it was the impetus was because it was Menopause Month, and so we were talking about women mostly of a certain age, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, and aging, pro-aging, health, and of course hormones, which is why I wanted to speak to you today, because I have not tried your product, okay, I have to say, but I'm absolutely, I have the little golden pot at home, and I wanted to talk to you about it. So, El Sarah has, as I said, it's a golden product. So they're little golden pills.
Yeah.
And I want to find out why you've made them gold. And they're to help with hormones. Are they exclusively for women?
Yes, well, we do actually have some male customers. We have a lot of husbands of the women who take it as well, which is great. Listen, this product is made up of adaptogens. The adaptogens aren't gender specific. They do different things,
So things like, obviously adaptogens are ashwagandha.
Correct. Things like that adapt to your stresses in your body. So there's lots of them, and they're found in plants. Adaptogens mainly thrive in harsh conditions. So maca, for instance, you would find up high in the mountains in Peru, really harsh conditions, but this plant thrives up there. And that is one of the reasons they say that it helps your body adapt to stress. It's full of incredible antioxidants and loads of different stuff. So we put 4 adaptogens actually in there and a beetroot extract, and I can go through why I kind of picked what I did and why.
So why did you start this? I mean, because you began this, didn't you begin your company during the pandemic?
Yes, I did. So I was running health retreats, and again, it was interesting that you said you were always ahead of the curve. I feel like I've always been slightly ahead of the curve as well. I mean, when I started this health retreat, it was all about boot camps at the time, and boot camps which just thrashed your body, starved you. They put you on you turn up for a week, you would turn up at some residential place, and it would be a man in army fatigues, and he would be making you do 1,000 burpees, all week, and he would just stress your body. Your cortisol levels would be through the roof, but you would lose weight on the scale in 7 days. Well, That was never going to stay off, because you're not going to train for 8 hours a day. In the real world, you're also not going to starve yourself on 800 calories. And all of these women were kind of looking for the answer. They wanted to lose weight, tone up, but they were trying to look for quick fixes. So no one was really talking to these women about their hormonal health. Most of these women were 40s and 50s and probably going through menopause and weight gain and bloating and all the things we know that happens. And yet they've got this man there, some Marine, who's now retired, screaming at them in a field, telling them they're lazy and fat. And I was like, you have got no idea what that woman's going through. She's probably got painful joints. She's probably having a confidence crisis. And I just thought, this is going to shatter their confidence, not build them up. So I started my own retreat. We spent as much time in the classroom as we did in exercising, but we did things and we explained how their body was working, and the exercise we did would work with them to complement what we were teaching them in the classroom and the kitchen. So it was all about their, stripping back their diet, and it was all about stretching and movement and resistance training, but not thrashing your body, just doing consistent movement every day. And again, we spoke about hormones. We talked about what was going on when they hit their 30s, postpartum, menopause, postmenopause, things like that. So they would come back after a week full of education. Finally, the penny would have dropped. They would have met loads of other women. We used to take about 20, mainly women. We took men too, but mainly women. And they would have met a whole new group of people who felt like they were now understanding of them.
Right.
And it was a load of fun. Honestly, they felt like they were 18 again because they could, there wasn't no kids, there was no husband. It was just something that we're doing for them. It was a great business. I really found my passion doing it. I loved it.
And then the pandemic
hit. That was it. I had to refund everybody. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I just remember watching like stocks one day, and, the price of oil had plummeted, but the price of like fast fashion had gone through the roof. Every e-com business had gone through the roof. I thought, I should have been in e-com. That's what I thought at the time. And I thought, this should be a lesson to me. Never put all your eggs in one basket in terms of, your income.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I can't help my clients at the moment because I can't see them in person. So there was one lady actually who messaged me, and she said, Alyssa, what can I do for libido? And I thought, wow, this would be the last person ever who I would ever imagine would ask me about libido.
Right.
I couldn't even imagine this woman having sex. So I was like, wow, okay. So I told her a few things. And then she came back to me after a few weeks and was like, my God, that's amazing. So I was like, okay. And then,
what did you tell her?
Okay, so
do tell.
I gave pretty much what ended up being the concoction of Elsa R today. So Tribulus, I recommended to her. Maca recommended
Tribulus, what's Tribulus?
Tribulus terrestris is another adaptogen.
Right.
Predominantly given to men. If you ever Google Tribulus terrestris and press images on Google, you will see loads of bodybuilders.
Right.
And that is because there's a couple of studies that came out of Bulgaria and things like that, weightlifters who used it in the gym.
Oh, really?
To
and what did they use it for?
bulk up muscle, for stamina, for endurance and performance.
Right.
So what it would do is boost testosterone.
Right.
And by that, I don't mean it doesn't give you testosterone, which is a complete misconception.
Yeah.
What it does do is the testosterone that you have in your body, it helps release it. So you've got two types really in your body. You've got free testosterone levels and you've got your sex hormone binding globulin, some that's tied up.
Yeah.
It releases it from that and puts it into your free testosterone level. So that goes up. So it's there available for you to use. So if you go to the gym, you'll get like 20, 30% more out of your gym sessions.
Right.
So therefore you can last longer, build more muscle quicker. And that's why it's great. Side effect of that is also your libido goes up.
Right,
because libido is governed by testosterone.
So it actually works because in the menopause they give testosterone a lot to women.
Yeah.
This is like a really big subject to boost libido
Absolutely,
and other
help
things
with sex
too.
drive.
Yeah.
So this is a way you can do it naturally and has been used with women with sexual dysfunction in clinical trials. I read that. And this is what I said to that client at the time. I said, it's not just a case of taking Tribulus, it's a case of taking enough of it and every day consistently for this amount of time.
And how were you had already educated yourself on hormones a lot because of the work?
Because of the work we'd done, at the retreat, definitely. So I don't claim to be any expert. I just read around the subject a lot. This was a way to really like harness your hormones naturally by using a few adaptogens.
So you suggested that one. What else did you suggest?
Maca again.
Yes. I remember taking Maca. Very good.
Very good for
menopausal symptoms.
Yeah, it's great for hot flushes. It's great for.
It's not. Is Maca also used to lower cholesterol, or am I getting confused?
Do you know what? It's just an absolute superfood. The thing is that why I like adaptogens is they don't just do one thing, they do so many things. It's so high in antioxidants. It can really help. It like mimics estrogen effects as well. So it's phytoestrogenic, which means it binds to your estrogen receptors, but it's not estrogen. So it mimics the effects. But if you've got something like estrogen receptive breast cancer, there's two schools of thought around maca. So I'm not, we always sit on the fence and say, listen, you've got to speak to your oncologist, whoever, if you're going through treatment. But there's two schools of thought. One saying it's really good for preventative, and some saying, listen, stay away from it. We don't know enough about it. So I always sit on the fence with it. But it can give you, it mimics estrogen. So it can reduce hot flushes. When you're going through menopause and the estrogen is dropping, I mean, that accounts for so many symptoms. So Tribulus, again, in clinical studies came out that it can really help vaginal dryness, really helps libido, again, endurance, strength, performance in the gym. Magical ingredient. I love it. I personally wanted to take it because I wanted to lose weight. I'd just come back from doing the Great Wall of China and I was massive. I'd just done the island with Bear Grylls.
How did the Great Wall of China make you massive?
Well, I'd just done Bear Grylls where I dropped to like...
you?
Yeah, below 9 stone. So I came back and I was like skeletal, looked great. I was like so tanned, my hair was blonde, great white teeth, and really thin. Loved it. So, but the flip side of that was my body just went bang. Anything I started eating, I ballooned. And then about 2 months later, I went to go and do the Great Wall of China. And the food was awful because we were just eating on the wall all the time.
Eating on the wall? Did you hang out? Did you have a tent on the wall?
I slept on the wall.
Did you?
Yeah. And in these hellholes along the wall. Yeah. So and when I came back from China, everything was like gloopy and MSG and everything. It was just horrible. Was there for 2 weeks. Came back, I was just like massive. And I remember like my partner now, we just started dating and I was so self-conscious about my weight, like complete. I was like, oh my God, he's not going to fancy me. I was like probably 2.5 stone bigger than I am now. Really played on my mind. So I started using Tribulus to help me in the gym, give me better performance and try and lean up quicker. And it really,
did it work?
It really did. And I thought, why don't more women know about this? So your sex drive goes up, you get leaner, better performance in the gym. Amazing. Love this
Getting
ingredient.
leaner accompanied by a diet?
Yeah. So obviously I was eating, then, came back and I'd had
But you felt it maximised the diet potential.
Yeah.
Right.
And then maca I absolutely loved. And then some of my other favourite ingredients were, ginseng is incredible for energy and also very calming. So it can give you loads of energy, but without getting you like too hyper. And also if you've got any anxiety or anything like that, it can really calm you down. Mm-hmm. So if I've ever got to have a challenging conversation, Siberian ginseng is like your wingman. Absolutely love it. So also absolutely in clinical trials, it's amazing for if you've got the herpes virus. So if you suffer from cold sores, if you take ginseng, Siberian ginseng mainly, it will really reduce your flare-ups or you won't get them at all.
I did not know that.
The severity of them won't be as long if you do get one.
Yeah.
And you won't be getting as many breakouts if you do suffer with them. So it's wonderful. The other thing I put in there was ginkgo. Ginkgo is incredible for cognitive function.
Yes. Good for the brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that. So we put that in there. And again, the last ingredient, because again, this was kind of like, we wanted all of these ingredients that are wonderful to get around the body. So I had a bit more space left in these capsules for something else. And I thought, beetroot, you need good circulation and beetroot extract is a great vasodilator. So it helps the arteries, capillaries, veins open up. So all those beautiful ingredients can get around the body. Also helps with the ginkgo because it allows like that blood get through the brain.
So but hold on a minute. So this woman called you.
She wanted libido advice.
So, libido advice. So you gave her that. How did you get from that to actually manufacturing? So basically, just to be clear, what you've done is you've manufactured a supplement, a single supplement that is to boost hormones.
Yeah.
in the menopausal stage or at any stage?
At any stage, really. The lion's share, I would say 50% of our customers are menopausal, postmenopausal, perimenopausal, but the rest of them, younger ladies who use it for anxiety, PMS or PCOS, something like that. But if you are suffering hormonally, i.e., 3 days before your period is due, you are like in complete rage or something like that, or, you're getting irritable, people use it for that and it really calms them down.
I mean, the interesting thing is women are really a hostage to their hormones their entire life.
Absolutely.
Well, from puberty, I would say. Yeah. And puberty seems to be getting earlier and earlier. So from puberty, you are hostage to hormones. So when you're menstruating, you go through that cycle every month. And as you say, that can really affect people.
Of course. If you suffer with PMDD, it can be absolutely crippling. I know women that have been sectioned because of they are just they don't know what's going on. It's like a red mist that comes over them.
Yeah.
It's actually awful, and there's not much known about it.
And then there's perimenopause, then there's the menopause, and then there's the whole postmenopausal thing. So really, one's entire adult life, hormones play a huge, huge part. So did you do it with the idea of offering an alternative to HRT?
Do you know what? You can use it in conjunction with HRT.
Can you?
We don't I think people think I'm dead against HRT, which is absolutely not the case. Who knows? When I get to the age, maybe I might use HRT. Who knows? I'm still on the fence about it myself. Can you manage menopause naturally? Yes, you can if you want to. Many women do. If you want to take HRT, that's your choice. But
I've always liked, I've never taken regular HRT. I take bioidentical hormones.
Yeah, which again derived from plant extracts as well.
Actually, no.
Right,
They're not natural. People think that bioidentical, the formula is identical to what you have in your body, but they are produced in a laboratory.
In a lab, yeah.
And they are not natural.
Yeah.
But they are
identical to.
The reason I like them is they are HRT is one size fits all. Bioidenticals, you have to do a blood test and it's formulated to what you need.
Right.
And as far as I can tell, the tests on the two are quite different.
Right.
And the bioidentical seems to be a lot more protective, whereas there are some risks associated with HRT. I, however, I don't think they really know.
No.
Because, and once again, as I said, we were having a private conversation and I said, I found in my life, I've been slightly ahead of the curve on many things. I think I was probably one of the first people in this country, in England, to use a bioidentical hormone. And it was when I was perimenopausal, and I've always sort of sought out, functional doctors and alternative doctors. And she got me a bioidentical cream from Germany because there wasn't any in England.
Right.
And that was, 20 years ago or over 20 years ago. And that was progesterone cream.
Right.
Which is often given in the perimenopausal stage. But honestly, it is quite a new thing. So I don't think there are long-term studies on this.
No.
And how long should a woman stay on it?
Yeah.
And that is the question that I'm thinking now because, people who say they know, I'm not convinced that they do. I'm not convinced doctors. And a lot of what I've noticed now, a lot of the doctors who administer bioidenticals are the first person who helped me go properly onto bioidenticals was a gynecologist, and he was one of the first people in this country. He's now retired. But now what's happening is you get GPs and they are doing hormones. And I have come across a few who really, in my opinion, did not know what they were talking about.
I know dentists who supply it.
Do you?
And
bioidentical hormones?
Yeah, and I'm like,
well, that's shocking.
What are you like? Do you know what I mean? Who've rebranding themselves?
Well, that's that is like your neighbour doing your Botox.
I know,
and I really don't recommend any of that because because all kind of hormone replacement, be it bioidentical or whatever, can have huge repercussions, and it can cause things like a thickening of your uterus lining, which can be dangerous. And I've heard that of happening. I've heard of other things happening as well. So you do have to be very, very careful. And I would only go to someone who knew what they were talking about and who is medically properly trained, who is a doctor and is regulated.
Yeah.
So obviously a supplement is a much safer alternative.
It is.
If you're not having huge symptoms.
Yeah, it is. It can be. But, without a shadow of a doubt, again, I think people think because things are natural, that there's no side effects. Of course there are, especially if you're taking them in like high dosage or whatever. So dosage is very important, and sometimes if you're taking too little of it, then you're wasting your money as well. You can be wasting your money on a lot of like high street things.
So just because I know we've got to finish in a minute, just tell me very quickly, you've made your pills gold, and you can also get them in a little gold pot. So just quickly tell me, what was the idea behind that?
Clearly, marketing.
Well, there's an honest answer.
Yeah, that truly is. It looks better than taking pictures of a horrible brown powder, to be honest, on the photos. No, we made it gold for the two reasons. One, so that it looked better, but two, so that you remembered to take it. One of the biggest things I have is you've got to be consistent in taking it, which is why we made the golden decanter. This is pretty enough to sit next to your perfume and the makeup that you use every day. It has to be in your eye line so you remember to take it. The same thing, if this was just a bland white pill, you might forget to take it every day. Whereas making it gold makes it like a ritual. It's something it's memorable.
And something precious.
Absolutely.
Something precious.
It needs to become a new habit. So that's my reasoning for it.
So what have the results been like? What reactions have you got?
The results have been life-changing. I mean, I always say, like, I don't never give it the hard sell. Our Trustpilot reviews say it all. Women will literally pour their heart out on there. They've said, we've saved their marriage, we've changed their life, and they feel like them again. They feel like they're 20 again. I mean, like I said, it's not just be a great product, great service. They pour their heart out in these Trustpilot reviews, and they send us personal letters, emails, presents. It's incredible. It's been absolutely incredible. So that's why I always say, don't take my word for it. Please go and see what other people say about it and make your own mind up.
Well, that is absolutely fascinating. And I do remember, as I said, when I was in the menopause, I took maca and various other things, and they were incredibly effective. So I will have to give that a try.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Thanks.